Nobody warned you that you would wake up exhausted before the day has begun. What you were warned about was hot flashes. But hot flashes aren't the biggest problem. Up to 85% of women in perimenopause say exhaustion is their number one symptom. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's draining your energy at the cellular level and what you can do about it. Are you scared by the fatigue you feel nowadays? The kind where you wake up bone tired? You didn't feel that way when you were younger. Your fatigue is driven by 5 causes, and 2 of them are surprisingly common and rarely discussed in the context of perimenopause. The 2026 Flow App survey asked over 17,000 women across 158 countries 2 questions. First, what symptoms are you actually experiencing? Second, before perimenopause started, what did you expect it to feel like? The most widely expected symptom was hot flashes. The most commonly reported symptoms were fatigue and physical and mental exhaustion. The experience women were dreading and preparing for was not the symptom that was most impairing their daily lives. The first cause of your fatigue is sleep disruption. If you don't get enough rest, you feel tired. Sleep is disrupted by dropping progesterone. As it drops, your body makes less of a natural sleep chemical called allopregnanolone, which works on the same brain receptors as prescription sleep meds. So you're losing your own built-in sleep aid. Hot flashes and night sweats also disrupt your sleep by breaking neurologically important recovery cycles of deep sleep and REM. If you would like to find out more, I break down 6 mechanisms of sleep disruption in my video here. The strongest non-hormonal support for sleep is cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, or CBTI. When researchers compared different treatments, CBTI improved sleep more than exercise and common medications. CBTI retrained your brain to stop staying on high alert at night, which is exactly what happens during perimenopause. Even though it's one of the most effective options, it's rarely offered first, and it really should be. Let me know if you would like me to create a video explaining the mechanisms and practical techniques of CBT. In addition, keep your wake-up time consistent, even after a bad night. Get bright light in your eyes within the first hour of waking, and sleep slightly cooler than you think you need. The second cause why you're exhausted is all about brain fuel, and I call it brain's fuel crisis. Your brain is 2% of your body weight and uses 20% of your energy. That energy comes from glucose. And estrogen helps your brain take up glucose from blood and use it well. So when estrogen drops, your brain takes up less fuel than it used to. We can see it on brain scans. You have enough fuel to start the day. You don't have enough to finish it. If you have a demanding morning, then by 2 p.m., there's almost nothing left. That's the brain fuel crisis. You can address the brain's fuel crisis 2 ways. If your doctor says you're a candidate, hormone replacement therapy restores estrogen support for brain energy to a certain degree. The 2025 International Menopause Society guidelines confirm it's the most effective treatment for hot flashes, with added benefits for sleep, mood, and some cognitive symptoms. However, endurance and resistance training is the strongest proven non-hormonal way to resolve the brain's fuel crisis. And doing hard mental work earlier in the day isn't a hack. It's you working with how your body actually functions. The third cause of fatigue is less talked about. It's neuroinflammation. Estrogen is your brain's powerful anti-inflammatory shield. It calms your brain's immune cells and manages your brain's inflammation signals. Dropping estrogen levels lead to low-grade inflammation in your brain. It is not enough to make you feel sick, but it is enough to drain you. You're probably wondering what neuroinflammation has to do with feeling tired. Decades of research show that when inflammation is triggered in healthy people, it reliably causes fatigue, mental fog, slow movements, and mood changes. That's the exact profile of perimenopausal exhaustion. If this changes how you think about your energy, subscribe. I'm a neuroscientist with a PhD in neurobiology, and I work in clinical research. I created this channel to share science-based knowledge on the brain and perimenopause that I couldn't find myself. There are a few targeted interventions you can use to reduce neuroinflammation. A Mediterranean-style way of eating has the strongest evidence for naturally reducing brain and overall inflammation. It's rich in omega-3 fats, plant compounds, and fiber, the nutrients known to fight inflammatory signals. Omega-3 supplements combining EPA and DHA in doses around 2 to 3 grams per day have strong clinical trial support for reducing inflammation as well. Surprisingly, regular cardio lowers inflammation, and these effects can show up within just a few weeks. The fourth cause of exhaustion doesn't necessarily relate to perimenopause, and that's why it's often missed. 1 in 3 women experience heavier, longer periods and unpredictable cycles during perimenopause. It's common, yet it is routinely dismissed as a direct cause of fatigue. Blood loss means iron loss. Iron is what allows red blood cells to deliver oxygen to every tissue in your body, including your brain. Iron deficiency causes fatigue and brain fog. Unfortunately, your standard blood tests can show normal hemoglobin, and you can still have dangerously low iron stores measured by ferritin. A 2025 analysis from the SWAN study followed more than 2,300 perimenopausal women over 7 years. Women who had 3 or more episodes of heavy menstrual bleeding in 6 months were 62% more likely to report fatigue even after other causes were ruled out. You should test your ferritin levels. Ferritin is the stored form of iron your body draws on when you're not getting enough of it. If it's low, iron supplements can improve energy within 4 to 8 weeks, making this the fastest intervention for fatigue on this list. Research suggests taking 60 to 120 milligrams of ferrous bisglycinate in a single morning dose every other day. This improves absorption and is easier on the stomach. The fifth factor has the least direct evidence in perimenopause, but it makes sense in the larger context of scientific research. A very recent 2026 study examined 903 perimenopausal women and compared loneliness, social isolation, and self-reported cognitive decline. Loneliness and social isolation were each linked to worse cognitive symptoms. Lonely and socially isolated women were over 8 times more likely to report severe cognitive symptoms than other women. Here's likely why. Loneliness ramps up stress signaling and inflammation. Social isolation cuts down the kind of mental stimulation that keeps your brain plastic and adaptable. Both are already vulnerable during this transition. Perimenopause often hits at the same time as big life changes, like kids leaving home, career shifts, and caring for your aging parents. These changes can naturally reduce your social engagement. If you are a high-performing woman, You might react to fatigue and exhaustion by deliberately cutting back on being social or doing collaborative work to preserve energy. Be careful. It's a reasonable short-term tactic, but if it becomes a pattern, it can make things worse. The solution here is not generic advice to just be more social. Prioritize deep conversations with people who truly know and challenge you. You don't have to attend every networking meeting or business lunch. And don't think about it as self-care. It is a biological necessity for your brain's health. Focus on high-quality interactions that provide emotional and cognitive substance. I'm sure you can find these people in your life. We covered 5 reasons you're tired. They need different fixes and they improve at different speeds. A single solution will not improve your fatigue. The tools I shared in this video support each other and they're not interchangeable. If this video gave you one thing you didn't know before, subscribe. I'll see you next time.